This whole Rex versus Apple debate. During this whole thing, there's a story about a man who bought a $10,000 MacBook Pro, and it burned down on him, and he sued Apple over it, and the man won. I am 120% on Apple's side for this one. Not just because I'm an Apple fan, but because this guy is an idiot. Okay, the MacBook Pro, 17-inch, default price is about $2,500. This guy put $10,000 worth into it. He put a bunch of stuff that wasn't supposed to be in this thing into. He crammed like a tower's worth of power into a tiny little machine, and it burned out. Oh gee, I wonder why. Well, let's see here. More power, less space, plus the combination of what the material the computer was made out of, plus less room for heat distribution equals something happened. Something went wrong, and the machine just went. Well, I'm gonna sue over it. And people are complaining that apparently they're saying Apple lied, or that they wouldn't help the guy because the reason they were they were saying that they don't cover this kind of repairs, and they refused to help this guy to repair his machine. And people were upset because they were saying Apple was lying or whatever, and Apple just wouldn't refuse this guy for no reason whatsoever. No, people aren't thinking when they read this. The reason why they aren't helping this guy, they don't like to feel stupidity. This guy was an idiot. Okay, we all know Macs are not gaming machines, right? You can play games on them, sure, but they are not. Everybody knows. You want to play an awesome high-end PC game, whatever. Of course, go to a PC. If you just want to play something, I don't know. I mean, I bought my MacBook here to play Second Life, and 13-inch and like low-end built-in graphics card thing, it works just fine. This guy tried to take the power of a tower, a huge souped-up, as advanced as you can get tower, several times more than this computer should have had, crammed it into a smaller thing, and it just, there's an equivalent to this. Just because you can add more power to something doesn't mean it's good for it. An example is from an old Star Trek episode, The Changeling, where the original series, they beamed a robot, this advanced robot on board the Enterprise, and he was turning around. He was egotistical and highly advanced, and he's better than humans, and da da da. And it was like, well, your starship here is like runs on like warp 7. It's like its maximum speed. That's still pretty slow. I can soup it up for you so you can get to where you need to go like that. And no, that's not really a good idea. I don't think the ship can handle. No, trust me, watch. Sorry, the ship just went past warp 10. Oh my god, the structural integrity field is going outside. Stop, the ship's gonna fly apart. Okay, fine, we'll send you back to warp 7. You could have had warp 15, but you pussied out. Just because he gave the Enterprise more power doesn't mean it was good on the ship. It would have flown apart and exploded. So that's what this guy did. And I can add a whole bunch of other things. Gee, I didn't know that throwing aluminum into the microwave would make it burn out. Maybe I should sue the electric company for not telling me that in the first place. No, dude. And people were like, well, and some people were complaining, well, that Apple gave the ability to add every single check mark to this thing. And just because they allow you to add these things to it doesn't mean that. How many people do you know have $10,000 that they can just casually throw into this computer and think, what could go wrong? For God's sake, just because the option is there doesn't mean that they encourage you to check off every single little box and throw away $10,000 worth into a machine like that. Yeah, sure. If I had $10,000 and I could throw it at anybody, yeah, sure, I'd throw it at Apple because, they're more. I trust them more than anybody else with money. But I'm not gonna throw it into one single thing. My God. And the reason why they wouldn't help the guy, they don't like to feel stupidity. Steve Jobs had Albert Einstein, and all these other amazing scientific heads, like all over the walls, you know, and these incredible inventors, they, um, you know, they like intelligence. You know, and sure, Apple will help people who aren't tech savvy. You know, they'll introduce to somebody on a level of, this is a computer. Oh, is that what that is? You know, and they'll bring them up the specs on it very simply. But for somebody to, you know, do the same equivalent of, I've never stuck my hand in the fire before. Oh, fire hot. Oh, God, fire hot. Oh, God, maybe I can sue nature for not warning me fire was hot. You know, that's on the same level of this. $2,500 computer, $10,000 worth of equipment into this one little thing. The computer is made out of metal, okay? It's made out of a lighter shade on a different spectrum. You've got Windows computers are made out of black plastic. This is made out of metal. So heat distributes differently. I'm not exactly sure whether it absorbs or reflects it more or less. I think black plastic absorbs more heat, and I think this metal probably redirects it back into the machine. But you've got like, you know, you probably have this, and this into the laptop. This guy had this. And it's all cluttered together, and you know, the more power, the more heat, the less space, the more chance something's gonna fuck up. And this guy just, whatever, $10,000. No, I got something went wrong. And he made the same mistake twice. And he blamed Apple for it. You know, they weren't going to admit this to save their own asses. The guy didn't learn anything. And they weren't going to give him the satisfaction of victory. That he stuck his hand in the fire twice, and he didn't learn anything from it. So, you know, they're not gonna go, yeah, we'll give you the money or whatever, you can do whatever, because he's just gonna do it again. You know, and now he's probably gonna go, well, you know what, screw Apple, whatever, I'm gonna buy a Windows computer. How many mistakes is this guy gonna do? God. I am fully on Apple's side in this. You know, people look at it and they go, Apple lied, or Apple, you know, they shame on them for not helping this guy, whatever. No, the guy didn't learn. The guy made a mistake. It wasn't Apple's fault. You know, I mean, yeah, you could put everything into this computer, but who has the money to, and really, who is going to do that? If you want a gaming rig, buy a gaming rig. If you want a more advanced computer that can do everything else except blow up whenever your ego gets in the way, I don't know, look somewhere else, you know. And God, what can you say on this? What more is there? The guy made it. The guy screwed up, and he paid for it with Apple's money. This more kind of stuff just pushes me more towards the company to side with them, because I hate stupidity. I hate stupidity very badly. Oh God. I don't know. I'm trying to. Well, like, God, there's this quote here, that Albert Einstein said a long time ago. I've added it to one of my favorite quotes. Let me see here if I can pull this up. Just real quick. Well, okay, Albert Einstein said this at one time. You say, two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe. And another line, if it was Albert Einstein, somebody else. Youth ages, immaturity is outgrown, ignorance can be educated, drunkenness sobered, but stupid lasts forever. I'm Choco GT, and that's all I have to say on this.